What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name's Lucky, and this is Automotive Updates. We're going over everything automotive that's happened in the last week. Unfortunately, I did not post a video for the last 2 weeks. I've been making videos for online classes, for our website. I've been doing some online coaching and consulting, helping a few dealers open up in Texas and Ohio, and one here in Las Vegas, which is very cool. I'm very excited for them. Now is kind of a great time. Like I said, if you're looking, getting in the industry, definitely an amazing time. There's a lot of people that are getting out because they're scared. Wherever there's scared people, there's opportunity, so take advantage of it. Also, you know, today is my birthday. I'm spending my birthday with you guys making videos. So if you can, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe, click the notification bell. Also follow me on Instagram at automotive.life. It means a lot. Once again, if you guys want to post something in the comments, let me know you're watching. If you want to put toast or happy birthday or anything funny or random, I truly appreciate it. You guys have been great this whole time so far. So as you guys know, as of last month, once we had our 5,000 subscribers, I actually started doing YouTube full time. So now that I'm doing this full time, I'm only doing outside consulting, purchasing cars, and everything else on the side. YouTube is going to be my full priority along with my online classes. So I just want to thank you guys so much again for taking the time to like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. Hopefully within the next few months we'll hit 10,000 subscribers. We'll look back at this and think it's even more awesome. But today, like I said, I want to get into the automotive update because it's been about 3 weeks. So a lot of crazy stuff has been going on, especially here in Nevada. So we've had several banks, same thing just like the last ones we talked about, they all pulled out of the state of Nevada. They will not do business anymore. A lot of the independents that were using Capital One and Wells Fargo are completely out. We were one of the dealerships that actually were working with Capital One. They're keeping us, but the restrictions they put on us, they want cars no older than 3 years, cars under 50,000 miles. The back end money is very limited. What I mean by that is usually we could sell $3,000 to $5,000 in warranties, gaps, insurance, whatever else we can add onto the vehicle. They took that away completely. So now it's basically just we could sell the car and that's it. So the reason I'm telling you guys not to purchase a vehicle right now is what I'm seeing at the auction. It is absolutely insane. Everybody is so overpaying for every single vehicle, no matter what the condition is. We built up this false market, this bubble, and I'll tell you a little bit about how it works and how everything's going right now. So everybody knows that the stimulus money came out. Well, a lot of people took advantage of this money, and instead of paying their landlords and instead of paying their bills, they just went out and put all the money together, went on shopping sprees on Amazon, which that's why Jeff Bezos almost doubled his net worth in 90 days because everybody's spending the government's money on Amazon. The other thing they did is they all jumped into buying cars. So a lot of our dealerships, you know, we had people showing up that had $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 down. You know, where in our market we usually see $2,000 to $3,000 is our normal, and we had people just coming out of the woodworks. You know, oh, I got my stimulus check, I got $4,000 backdated for 4 months, I got all this money, I'm just going to go out and make it rain, and they start overpaying for all these cars. Well, once that market started, everybody started clamoring for cheap, affordable cars. Next thing you knew, everything at the auction was going for insane. Throw that in with a lot of the states weren't allowed to repo during this time, so it made the market even scarce when it came to vehicles. So cars went up even more. So now there's this thing called MMR, which is auction pricing, which is owned by Cox Media, and Cox Media owns Cox Automotive. So your cable company actually owns most of the automotive industries here in the United States. So not only does it own MMR, which is the prices at auctions, it also owns Kelley Blue Book. So they basically have been pumping up their numbers saying, oh, well, this car is worth $8,000, when in all reality, I wouldn't pay $1 over $6 for it at the auction. But that's what they're doing. So right now, MMR prices are going up and up and up. Kelley Blue Book's going up and up and up. So if you bought a car last year and you're upside down a little bit, there's a good chance that you can actually trade it in right now and get a few extra dollars because it's worth more money today than it was about 6 months ago. So that's what we're seeing is this false market, this bubble that the dealers are building and these banks are building. Now, the last month I've watched these banks one by one, they're starting to not actually lend as much as what they were because they want the big down payments. They saw so many people that had these $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 down payments on subprime credit. They decided that, okay, well, we want to keep that momentum going. So now, as we're sending deals off, the banks are hitting us with like, customer needs 4K down, customer needs 5K down. And these people, the stimulus money is gone. That is it. So now these people are stuck with all these overpriced cars. The people don't have down payments to offset their bad credit. You know, a lot of people did not pay their bills during the whole downed economy or during the lockdown. So a lot of people basically are behind on their bills, but they're still going out shopping for new cars, new houses, whatever the case may be. So we're building this false market, this bubble. And I keep telling a lot of my personal friends, hey, look, take your time. Don't buy a lot of cars. Let's just wait. Don't buy anything over $10,000 because the market's going to come crashing down. And the reason why I know this is as I watch the banks pull out, they're starting to get reports of the repos back. So the company that bought my dealership owns an actual bank. They usually get anywhere from 300 to 500 repos a month. Now that the moratorium is lifted on a few states and they can start pulling in all their cars from other places, they're estimating that they're going to have repos from 1,000 to 1,500 every month for the next 6 months. That is almost triple what they normally get. Just to give you guys an idea. So what's going to happen is when all these banks start repoing these cars, they're going to start flooding into the market. And then as those repo rates go up, the banks usually offset their things with tightening up lending criteria. So all of a sudden you're going to get this market where your cars, there's the massive repos are going to go way up. The actual banks that are going to be approving are going to go way down. And then now your demand is going to start to go down. So all those vehicle prices are just going to start dropping. And eventually we'll actually have a final correction of the market, which we absolutely need. But the problem is so many of these people that have flooring lines of credit, are going out just buying everything under the sun, overpaying for everything, doing stupid stuff. You know, I've seen people buy $3,000 cars for $6,000 at the auction right now because they're just desperate and they want cars because people got that stimulus money. Well, as of the last week, sales pretty much hit a brick wall. I mean, we were doing about 3 to 4 a day, and then now it's like 1 a day, if that. It just literally just hit a brick wall. And so I'm guessing within the next few weeks, especially if the government doesn't put out a second stimulus check, the sales are going to drop even more. The banks are going to tighten up even more. And then, like I said, all these dealers that have these massive flooring lines, they can't pay their curtailments. They're going to all start taking their cars to the auction to get rid of them. But now they're going to have to compete with all the banks, Hertz, the rental car companies, everybody and their grandma that's taking cars there now. Because, like I said, the bank that I know, they're going to be taking 1,500 cars a month to the auction. Just imagine Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Capital One, all these banks are going to flood the market with affordable repos, along with the rental car company that's dumping 1 million vehicles into that pool as well. The market's just going to go insane. So my advice as of right now is please do not buy anything over $10,000 until you see the market correction. It may be 30 days, it may be 90 days, but I'm telling you it's coming. Don't get stuck on the other end, because I've seen this happen during the last election. Everybody thought that when, I guess, Trump got elected, they thought the world would fall apart. And they do this every election. Like, somebody freaks out that it's either going to be Republican, Democrat, whatever the case is. But the downfall is the banks get scared, so they tighten up and they stop lending. So just like last year's election, when that happened, it was insane. We literally were doing about 60 cars a month back then. The next 3 months, we had 2 months of single-digit sales. But then we had a few of back to double-digit sales, but it was probably the worst I've ever seen. It was worse than during the downed economy in '08, where we were still selling cars, but at least people had a little bit of money. Back then, nobody had any money. The banks wouldn't approve anybody. And so we're getting ready to hit that again right now. So please be patient. Don't overspend. Take your time. Next, we're going to be talking about franchise stores. Now, never in the automotive industry's history have we had so many new franchise store dealers that were selling used cars. So usually by law, they have to sell so many new cars and so many old cars per their agreement with whatever manufacturer, Ford, Chevy, Honda, Toyota, whatever the case may be. Well, when the pandemic happened, a lot of the factories shut down, so they weren't able to supply the franchise stores with the needed vehicles. So like I said, usually they have to sell so many new and so many used cars in order to abide by their contracts with the manufacturer. Well, since the manufacturer couldn't deliver on their part, you had a lot of franchise stores that were jumping in buying used cars just to compete with us. So now you have franchise stores that are no longer taking repos or some trade-ins in to the auction. They were keeping them. So I used to go to all these franchise stores and make bids on their trade-ins. But for the last few months, every time I go, I'm like, oh, what about this car? I'm keeping it. What about that car? I'm keeping it. They didn't sell me anything. They were keeping everything. I mean, I went to the Ford dealership, a 2005 Ford F-150 with 140,000 miles. Usually in a million years, they would never keep that car. They don't want it. It's too old, too many miles, too much of a liability or headache. They would not sell it to me. They flat out told me they're gonna dump $1,500 in the recon and they're gonna post it up front for $10,995. And they knew this. And there's so much of that demand. Even a Nissan dealership that I usually do a lot of business with, they did not give me any of the repos. Same thing, Altimas, 13s, 14s, 15s, 120,000 miles, 150,000 miles. They wouldn't sell me anything. I'll put it this way, they even kept the salvage units. They had a few 2017 wrecked but repaired Altimas. They kept them and made them as cash cars just to get people into the dealership. This has never happened before. So now most of the cars from the auction come from repos and they come from trade-ins. But now with the franchise stores not being able to sell their newer cars because they don't have as many, they have to fill their lots, so they started going out buying used cars. Now we're competing with million-dollar franchises when you're a small independent dealer. It's insane. So it was kind of the perfect storm, like I said, to build up this false bubble. But please do not buy into it. I know there's a lot of dealers watching right now, and don't do this. And if you're just a regular person, you don't know what I'm talking about. So when you go to the auction, let me pull out my phone here. There is an app that most dealers use. So usually when I go out and buy cars, I bid on stuff. I basically just go off of my numbers in my head, what I know I could sell it for and everything else. So there's this app. I'll put it right there so you guys can see it. This is Manheim's app. And so when you click on this scan button, basically at all the auctions, when you walk up to a car, you're supposed to scan it, and then it gives you what the estimated price you should pay for it. So instead of these dealers doing their research and really seeing what the market is, they don't. They live and die by this stupid app. This app is built by the company that's selling the vehicles. I have no idea why these guys live and die by MMR. Because you'll see through the years, and as you start getting in this industry, you'll get these people that are like, they'll scan the car, okay, it says 4,000 bucks. I'll bid $4,000. That's exactly what they do. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. MMR does not take everything into consideration. So especially when it comes to your CR condition, which is your condition report, they have such a biased against like independence. You can bring a car that's super clean, runs and drives great, low miles, and they will give it what's called like a 2.4 rating because it has a few small scratches on the door handle, maybe the headlight's a little faded, they whack you on a lot of points. Or Wells Fargo brings in something that's completely beat up, has a dent the size of your fist in the side of the door, there's key marks all the way down the side, the tires are bald, headlights are faded, check engine lights on, but they will give that bank a 3.9 to 4.2 rating. And so when they do this, the rating of the condition report gives you the value of your vehicle. So a lot of these people, like I'll never forget this, I purchased a vehicle, quote unquote, runs and drives. Because during this pandemic, we weren't allowed to go to the auction. So I purchased a vehicle from Wells Fargo. It said it ran and drove, it was clean, no check engine lights, everything was good. When I got it to my lot, the top of the valve cover was missing and the timing belt was completely torn. So I went back to Manheim and I arbitrated it. I was like, why is this saying running and driving when it doesn't even run? It's missing parts of the engine. Why don't you take pictures underneath the hood? First, they tried to blame me and say I did it. Second, after I showed them proof that we picked it up and we had the video of me inside the lot when I was looking at the vehicle, then they changed their mind because I never took it off. The second thing was they told me, well, it has to appear that it runs and drives in order for it to get that scoring. So all they care about is getting more money. It's more money, more money. The higher the rating is, the more money it gets, the more money they sell it for, the more they can charge the bank and the more they can charge you. So it's just a big racket. So please don't buy into it. If you're a dealer that lives and dies by the app, take the time, learn your industry. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. I mean, you guys see them at the auction every 5 minutes. They're running around a car, scanning it and stuff like that. A few of my classes, I go into that about which apps to use, how to scan it, how to find out a true market value, not just the inflated one on MMR. But I'll go into that too also a little bit down the road. But just make sure that you take your time, do your research, and find out a little bit more about the vehicles. And if you're new to the industry, don't worry about it. It's a lot of crazy stuff that we're going over. As you watch my videos, I kind of do more and more details about some of the things that I do, how I buy cars and stuff like that. I was gonna make a really cool one, but unfortunately with the pandemic, I can't physically take you guys into the auction and show you how I do things. I have a friend that owns a small auction house here in Las Vegas that granted us video access so you guys can actually see what we do and how we do it, so you can get a sense of how it actually is at a dealer auction. So, but anyways, once again, thank you guys so much. I know I haven't put out a video in a while, but I'm gonna be doing these more often. A bunch of other automotive stuff I'm gonna go into here a little bit later, but I don't wanna make this video too long. But once again, if you can hit the like button, it's truly appreciated. Subscribe, click the notification bell, so this way you always get updated every time we post a video or we do a premiere. Hopefully next week we're gonna start our live where I'm actually gonna be on either Instagram Live or YouTube Live, and I'm gonna be actually answering your questions about the automotive industry, cars themselves, maybe some products you guys were thinking about trying, whatever else the case may be. We want to have these live sessions to kind of get more in contact with you. Okay guys, thank you guys so much again for taking the time to watch the video. If you can, make sure you hit the like button, click the subscribe, click the notification bell so this way you're notified every time we post a new video. Follow us on Instagram at automotive.life and automotive.life, and then go to our website, automotivelife.com. We should have our classes and online stuff. Also, in the link description below, we're going to have things going to our Facebook group where you can share some information with your other colleagues about the automotive industry in your area. You know, I always believe in sharing is caring, so just give as much information as you can. If you guys don't remember that quote, hashtag Care Bears. Basically just give the information, help other people out, see what strategies other people are using in different parts of the US, so you can see if maybe you can use it in your industry. If you're from out of the country, that's fine. A lot of the automotive industry stuff we all do, it's the exact same thing around the world. Please chime in if you're from a different country. I'd love to know where you're from and what industry you're in. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and we'll see you guys next time.